Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, we are from Group 5 and today we are excited to share the results of our group discussion regarding complaints and adjustment. So, next please. Okay, so before we get started, please allow us to introduce ourselves. My name is Hiwa Rosyada.
My name is Muhammad Algani Uda Diaz.
My name is Yulena Dewi Permani.
Okay, so our first topic is unjustified complaints. Next, please. Okay, so unjustified complaints are complaints made by customers that are not valid or not based on correct facts. This usually happens because of misunderstanding, miscalculation, or incorrect information from the customer. So there are the example. The first is, dear sir, I strongly object to the extra charge of $9 which you have added to my statement when I send my check for 256 dollars last week. I thought it cleared this balance. Now I find blah 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 blah. And the second is, dear Mr. XB, we received your letter today complaining of an extra charge of $9 on your May statement. I think if you check the statement, you will find that the amount due was $265, not 265, which account for the $9 difference. I have enclosed a copy of the statement and blah 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 blah. Jadi, unjustified complaint itu adalah keluhan yang tidak beralasan. Nah, keluhan yang tidak beralasan itu adalah keluhan yang diajukan oleh pelanggan yang nggak valid atau misal nggak berdasarkan fakta yang benar. Nah, biasanya ini tuh terjadi karena kesalahpahaman, kesalah perhitungan, atau informasi yang keliru, keliru dari pihak pelanggan. Contohnya tadi yang telah saya bacakan, Bapak yang terhormat, saya sangat keberatan biaya tambahan sebesar $9 yang Anda tambahkan pada laporan saya. Ketika saya mengirimkan cek sebesar $256 minggu lalu, saya pikir itu sudah melunasi saldo ini. Sekarang saya mendapati bla 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 bla. Nah, jadi itu merupakan contoh dari keluhan yang tidak beralasan. Kemudian yang kedua yaitu pelanggan yang terhormat, Bapak yang terhormat, saya sangat keberatan dengan biaya tambahan sebesar $9 yang Anda tambahkan pada laporan saya. Oh, Bapak XB yang terhormat, kami telah menerima surat Anda hari ini mengenai keluhan biaya tambahan sebesar $9 pada laporan bulan Mei Anda. Jika Anda memeriksa kembali laporan tersebut, Anda akan menemukan bahwa jumlah yang jatuh tempo adalah $265, bukan 256, yang menjelaskan selisih $9 tersebut. Saya telah melampirkan salinan laporan tersebut dan bla 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 bla. Oke, next please. Okay, so making general complaints. Next, please. Okay, making general complaints. When sending a complaint, you need to decide whether is it appropriate to use fax or email for minor issues such as small payment errors or incorrect quantities, or to write a letter for larger or more serious complaints. Jadi ketika kita mengirimkan komplain gitu ya, atau mengirimkan keluhan, kita tuh harus memutuskan gitu loh, apa sih yang kira-kira kita tuh harus mengirim itu tuh menggunakan fax atau email gitu buat misalnya masalah yang kecil kayak misalnya kesalahan kesalahan pembayaran yang error, atau mungkin kuantitas yang salah, atau menulis surat buat eh, apa ya, komplain yang serius yang lebih besar gitu. Boleh nih, next. Next please. Okay, so we move to the opening of making a general complaint. So when writing a complaint, the sender should not delay. The complaint should be made as soon as the problem is noticed. A quick complaint is better because all details are still clear and easier to solve. So example of opening sentence are we would like to inform you that blah 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 blah. The second is I am writing to complain about blah 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 blah. And the last one is I am writing concerning an order no P32 which we received yesterday. Jadi ketika kita menulis keluhan gitu ya, kita tuh sebagai sender nggak boleh nunda. Jadi keluhan tuh harus diajuin segera setelah masalahnya itu tuh kita notice atau kita temukan gitu. Jadi keluhan yang disampaikan dengan cepat tuh lebih baik karena semua rincian tuh masih jelas dan juga lebih mudah buat kita selesaiin. Contohnya yang pertama, tadi kami ingin menginformasikan kepada Anda bahwa bla 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 bla. Saya menulis surat ini untuk menyampaikan keluhan tentang bla 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 dan saya menulis surat ini terkait pesanan nomor bla bla P32 yang kami terima kemarin. Oke, next please. Okay, so the language of complaints. In business correspondence, complaints should be written in polite, professional, and calm tone. Writers should avoid emotional or rude words such as anger, shock, or blame. Even when there is a problem, the complaint should focus on the issue, not attack the person or company. Instead of using aggressive sentence, it is better to use formal and neutral language. Example of express dissatisfaction is first, this is the third time this mistake has happened and we are not satisfied with your service. The second is if future deliveries are delayed, we may have to consider another supplier. And the last one is please ensure that this problem doesn't happen again. Jadi di correspondence bisnis itu keluhan tuh harus ditulis tuh dengan apa ya, dengan bahasa yang halus, profesional, dan juga nada yang tenang gitu ya teman, di kalem gitu, nada yang kalem dan sender atau penulis gitu ya harus apa ya, mengatur emosional gitu atau menghindari kata-kata yang mungkin terdengar kasar gitu loh, kayak misal kemarahan, shock, kaget gitu atau menyudutkan gitu ya. Meskipun di situ ada kesalahan gitu ya, keluhan tuh harus fokus ke isunya gitu, nggak ke personal ke suatu seseorang gitu atau ke perusahaannya gitu loh. Jadi uh, instead of using aggressive sentence, jadi kalau apa ya, jadi kita tuh harus better use formal atau lebih baik menggunakan kata-kata yang formal dan juga bahasa yang natural gitu ya. Oke, next please. And then explaining the problem. If you think you know how the mistake was made, you may politely point this out to your supplier. Sometimes when a mistake occurs several times, you may be able to work out why it is happening more quickly than the company you are dealing with. Jadi kalau misalkan kalian tahu gimana kesalahan itu terjadi, kita boleh kok menyampaikannya secara sopan ke suppliernya. Karena kadang kalau misalkan kesalahannya terjadi beberapa kali, mungkin kita bisa paham gitu loh kenapa hal itu tuh lebih apa ya, lebih cepat daripada perusahaan yang kita hubungi. So there are examples. First is, could you tell your dispatch department to take special care when addressing consignments? My name and address are C.I. Schwartzberg's Coln, but there is a C. Schwartzberg's Coln who also deals in electrical things. Jadi, misalkan Anda memberitahu Departemen Pengiriman untuk lebih berhati-hati saat mencantumkan alamat pengiriman and central. Next, please. Okay, so suggesting a solution. If you think you know how the mistake can be correct, let your supplier know. Jadi, kalau misalkan kita punya apa ya, kita punya solusi gitu ya gimana kesalahan itu bisa diperbaiki, kita harus harus kasih tahu gitu loh ke supplier kita. Contoh, example is if I send you a debit note for $984 and deduct it from my next statement, that should put the matter right. The best solution would be for me to return the wrong articles charging you PNP. Jadi kalau Artinya adalah jika saya mengirimkan nota debit sebesar $984 dan memotongnya dari laporan berikutnya, itu akan menyelesaikan masalah ini. Jadi kita menawarkan solusi gitu ke supplier. Okay, so next please. Replying to letters of complaint atau membalas keluhan yang tadi ya. Next please. Okay, so we go to the opening. Acknowledge that you have received the complaint and thank your customer for informing you. Jadi kita tuh harus mengakui gitu loh kalau kita tuh udah nerima keluhan tersebut gitu loh, dan kita juga harus berterima kasih ya tentunya ke customer kita karena udah nginformasin ke kita gitu loh. So the example is, thank you for your letter of 6 August informing us that blah, 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 blah. We would like to thank you for informing us of our accounting error in your letter of June. And the last one is, we are replying to your letter of 10 March in which you told us that blah, blah, blah. Next, please. And asking for time to investigate the complaint. Sometimes a company cannot solve a complaint immediately because the problem needs to be checked first. In this situation, the company should first reply without delay. Second, confirm that the complaint was received. Third, explain that the matter is being investigated. And the last one is promise a future response. Jadi kadang tuh perusahaan tuh nggak bisa langsung nyelesain keluhan karena masalah tersebut tuh harus diperiksa dulu gitu loh. Nah, dalam situasi ini tuh perusahaan tuh harus balas tanpa nunda-nunda, terus kemudian mengonfirmasi kalau keluhannya tuh udah diterima dan ngejelasin kalau masalahnya itu lagi diselidiki, dan juga tentunya harus menjadikan balasan yang bakal datang. So the examples is, although we cannot give you an explanation at present, we are investigating the matter and will contact you soon, etc. Next, please. Okay, so we explaining the mistake. If the complaint is justified, explain how the mistake occurred, but do not blame your staff. You employed them, so you are responsible for their action. Jadi kalau misalkan keluhan tersebut tuh benar atau justified gitu ya, jadi jelasin gimana kesalahan itu tuh terjadi, tapi jangan nyalahin juga staff kita gitu loh, karena kita yang memperkerjakan, jadi ya kita juga yang bertanggung jawab atas tindakan mereka gitu. So the example sentence is, first, the mistake was due to a fault in one of our machine, which has now been correct. The mistake was due to a fault in one of our machine, which has now been correct. So the second is, there appears to have been some confusion in our addressing system, but this has been sorted out. And the last one is, it is unusual for this type of error to arise, but the problem has now been dealt with. Jadi ada pemberitahuannya gitu. Okay, next please. Next, please. Okay, solving the problem, having acknowledged your responsibility and explain what went wrong. You should put matters right as soon as possible and tell your customer that you are doing so. Jadi setelah kita mengakui gitu ya tanggung jawab kita dan ngejelasin apa yang salah, kita tuh harus segera memperbaiki keadaan dan memberitahu langsung ke customer kita kalau kita tuh lagi ngelakuin perbaikan tersebut gitu loh. So the next sentence is, we have now checked our account and find that we have been sending you the wrong statement due to a confusion in names and address. The database has been adjusted and there should be no more difficulties. Please contact us again if a similar situation arises. And thank you again for pointing out the error. Jadi kan maksudnya adalah kami telah memeriksa akun kami dan menemukan bahwa kami mengirimkan laporan yang salah karena kerancuan nama dan alamat gitu. Okay, so the next topic will be explained by my friend.
Okay, after that, there is rejecting a complaint. So, rejecting a complaint means refusing a customer's complaint because after investigation, the complaint is unjustified or the company is not responsible for the problem. Jadi rejecting complaint ini tuh kayak menolak keluhan pelanggan karena setelah diperiksa tuh ternyata keluhan tersebut tuh nggak beralasan gitu, kayak atau bukan tanggung jawab dari perusahaan gitu. Jadi penolakan tuh harus dilakukan dengan tegas, tetapi harus sopan gitu. And if you think the complaint is unjustified, you can be confident but polite in your answer. But even if you deny responsibility, you should after try to give an explanation of the problem. Jadi misalkan ditolak pun kita harus menjawab dengan sopan, terus apa ya, tetap berusaha memberikan penjelasan mengenai masalah tersebut gitu. And the example is we have closely compared the articles you return with our samples, and can you and see no difference between the therefore in this case we are not willing either to substitute the article or to offer a credit. Jadi artinya tuh kayak kami telah membandingkan dengan cermat barang yang Anda kembalikan dengan sampel kami dan tidak menemukan perbedaan di antara keduanya. Oleh karena itu, di dalam kasus ini kami tidak bersedia mengganti barang tersebut atau memberikan kredit. Jadi setelah ditelusuri gitu ya, ternyata apa komplainnya tuh ternyata nggak beralasan gitu. Jadi perusahaannya tuh nggak mau atau tidak bersedia untuk mengganti barangnya gitu. Boleh di next please. And then closing, this is useful when closing your letter to mention that the mistakes, error, or fault is an exception and it either rarely or never happens. You should also of course apologize for the inconvenience your customer experience. Jadi sebaiknya uh, jika membuat apa ya, penutupan gitu di bagian penutup surat tuh bahwa kesalahan atau gangguan atau keresahan tersebut tuh merupakan pengecualian dan hal tersebut tuh jarang atau bahkan tidak terjadi gitu. Tentu saja juga uh, kita harus apa ya, minta maaf gitu buat ketidaknyamanan yang dialami oleh pelanggan. Next please. Okay, there's example for complaint about wrong delivery. This example is an email complaint for Robert Hughes to Richard Cliff because he received the wrong deliver. The customer ordered pine dressing tables but received mahogany dressing tables. He politely asked the seller to send the correct good quickly and collect the wrong items. Jadi email ini tuh bentuk komplain tentang salah kirim barang gitu. Pelanggan tuh sebenarnya mesen meja warna pinus tapi malah dikirim warna mahogani gitu. Dan sendernya ini tuh meminta dengan sopan agar penjual tuh segera kirim barang yang benar dan mengambil barang yang salah gitu. Next, please. And then this is a reply to complain about wrong delivery. This example is the reply email from Richard Cliff to Robert Hicks after receive a complaint about wrong delivery. Jadi ini tuh balasan dari surat yang tadi gitu. First, the company thanks the customer for the email. Then they checked the problem and found the customer used the old summer catalog. In the current winter catalog, the correct product code is DT 189. Jadi salah katalog gitu. Jadi pertama-tama tuh perusahaan tuh mengucapkan terima kasih gitu atas apa ya, konfirmasinya gitu. Terus mereka tuh ngecek masalah tersebut tuh si pelanggan ini tuh pakai katalog musim panas yang lama gitu. Jadi mereka nggak pakai katalog yang baru gitu. Next please. And then this is example for ex, complaint about damage. This is a complaint letter about damage goods sent by Lynch and CO to Satex. So the buyer received sweater in poor condition, like the box were damaged. The box looked like they had been opened during transit. Uh, 30 sweater were missing, many other were dirty or gross. Some goods could not be sold in the shop. Jadi pembeli ini tuh kayak menerima sweater dalam kondisi buruk gitu. Sebagian tuh ada yang hilang, sebagian rusak. Pembeli tuh meminta penjual buat apa, menghubungi pihak pengirimnya gitu. Jadi buat ngurusin ganti rugi. Next please. This is example reply to complain about damage. Jadi ini tuh balasan dari surat yang complain about damage gitu. This is a reply letter from Setex to Lynch after receiving a complaint about damaged goods. The company apologized and said the problem is unusual. They asked the buyer to return the good, contact the shipping company, and offered to send a replacement. Jadi si perusahaan itu pertama tuh mengucapkan terima kasih gitu karena udah memberitahu. Terus mereka juga apa, mengatakan bahwa masalah itu jarang terjadi gitu, tapi tetap minta maaf buat ketidaknyamanannya. Next please. This is a complaint about bad workmanship. When bad workmanship is involved, the customer can only complain as the fault arises, but they should still complain as soon as possible. In this case, supervised customer can ask Wembley Soffit to refit one of their shop. The work was complete, but some months later fault began to appear. This complaint letter from supervised Wembley so about bad workmanship after renovation work. Jadi ini tuh setelah renovasi itu tuh supervisor tuh menemukan masalah listrik dan lantai gitu. Terus mereka tuh meminta kontraktor memeriksa dan memperbaiki kerusakan dalam 1 minggu. Tuh. Next please. This is a reply to complain about bad workmanship. Jadi ini tuh balasan dari komplain about bad workmanship. This is example so how to respond to a complaint about bad workmanship clearly and professionally. The company first acknowledge the issue and explain the cause, which may not be entirely their fault. Then instead is positions based on warranty or quality standard. However, it still offer a solution such as repair or replacement, possibly with additional cost. Finally, the company apologizes and provide details about the repair product. Jadi ini itu contoh cara menanggapi keluhan tentang pengerjaan yang buruk dengan jelas dan profesional gitu. Perusahaan tuh pertama-tama ngakuin masalah dan menjelaskan penyebabnya yang mungkin tidak sepenuhnya merupakan kesalahan mereka. Kemudian mereka tuh menyatakan posisinya berdasarkan garansi atau standar kualitas. Namun itu masih menawarkan solusi seperti perbaikan atau penggantian mungkin dengan biaya tambahan. Nah, di bagian akhir tuh perusahaan meminta maaf dan memberikan detail tentang proses perbaikannya gitu. Next please. This is a complaint about non-delivery. This is a complaint letter from the customer because the order has not been delivered and they are applying pressure with serious consequence. The customer explained the order was placed on May. The supplier promised delivery on June. The goods have not been reserved. There has been no communication from supplier. Jadi mereka tuh isi dari ini tuh mereka sudah melakukan pemesanan di 22 Mei gitu. Dan supplier juga janji buat ngirim di 3 Juni, tapi nyatanya sampai sekarang tuh barang belum diterima gitu. Dan nggak ada komunikasi dari pihak suppliernya. Next, please. And this is reply to complaint about non-delivery. This is reply from the company to a customer complaint about a delay deliver. They letter contains an apology and explain for the delay and a proposed solution for the customer. They company acknowledge the delay and apologize, explain the delay, the situation has now returned to normal and production has resumed. The customer order will be prioritized and delivery soon. Jadi isi utamanya tuh mereka ngakuin keterlambatan dan minta maaf. Terus mereka juga menjelaskan bahwa keterlambatan tuh terjadi karena masalah internal gitu. Terus saat ini itu kondisinya sudah kembali normal, jadi produksi udah bisa jalan lagi. Terus di akhir tuh mereka minta maaf buat pelanggan, terus memberi keputusan apakah ingin melanjutkan pesanan atau tidak. Terus mereka juga janji ini tuh bakal diprioritasin gitu. Next. And the next topic will be explained by my friends.
Okay, now we will talk about accounting error and adjustment. So what is accounting errors and adjustment? Accounting errors and adjustment are many letters of complaints arise out of accounting errors which can be corrected by adjustments. Debit notes and credit notes are used for this purpose. Jadi banyak surat keluhan itu muncul akibat kesalahan akuntansi yang dapat diperbaiki melalui penyesuaian nota debit dan nota kredit yang mana kedua ini tuh biasanya digunakan untuk tujuan seperti ini. The first one is debit notes. Debit notes are a second charge for a consignment and become necessary if a customer has been undercharged through a mistake in the calculation on the original invoice. An explanation for the charge must be included on the debit note. For the example, undercharge on invoice C293 to units at 12.62 pound. Each item equals 126.20 pound sterling, not 60.20 pound sterling. Jadi kayak debit notes itu adalah tagihan kedua untuk pengiriman, untuk suatu pengiriman dan diperlukan jika pelanggan telah dikenakan biaya kurang akibat kesalahan perhitungan pada faktur asli. Penjelasan mengenai tagihan tersebut harus dijelaskan pada nota debit. Di sini ada contoh-contohnya. Penjelasan berikutnya itu, the next explain is, once a buyer has settled an account, it is annoying to be told that there is an additional payment, an apology should always accompany a debit note. For the example, we would like to apologize for the mistake on invoice number C293, which was due to an oversight. Please could you send us the balance of £795. Second one is, I am sorry to trouble you, particularly since you were so prompt in settling the account, but I would be grateful if you would let us have the additional amount of £340 as itemized on the enclosed debit note. And the last example is, I regret that we miscalculated the VAT and must now ask you to forward the difference of £51.86. Setelah pembeli telah melunasi tagihan, tentu saja akan kesel gitu ya kalau ada tiba-tiba tambahan pembayaran. Permintaan maaf harus selalu disertai pada saat memberikan surat tagihan, seperti kami ingin meminta maaf atas kesalahan pada faktur C293 yang disebabkan oleh kelalaian. Mohon kirimkan kami sisa pembayaran sebesar £795. Maaf telah merepotkan Anda, terutama karena Anda begitu cepat dalam melunasi tagihan. Namun, saya akan sangat berterima kasih apabila kamu bisa memberikan kami biaya tambahan sebesar £340 dan lain sebagainya. Berikutnya ada credit note. Credit note is a document sent by a seller to a buyer when the customer has been charged too much or is entitled to a refund. It reduces the amount the customer has to pay or gives credit to the customer account. A company should issue a credit note in the following situation. First, accidental overcharge. Second, wrong discount given. Third, refund of deposit. The fourth one is return goods. Example case, miscalculation of invoice. A customer bought 10 copies of International Commerce. The invoice charged £195, but the correct total should have been £165. The customer was overcharged by £30, so the company must issue a credit note for £30. Covering letter of explanation and apology, I have pleasure in enclosing a credit note for £30. This is due to a miscalculation of our invoice dated 12 August. Please accept our apologies for the error and any inconvenience caused. Jadi credit note itu dokumen yang diberikan oleh penjual kepada pembeli ketika customer-nya ini di-charge atau ditagih terlalu banyak. Company should issue a credit note. Itu company harus ngebuat credit note kalau ada kesalahan biaya tambahan, kesalahan pemberian diskon, pengembalian deposit atau pengembalian barang. Contohnya di sini kayak customer beli 10 copies of International Commerce, harganya tuh harusnya harga fakturnya itu £195. Harusnya £165 tapi ditulis £195. Jadi buyernya ini ngebuat company note sebesar £30. This is the example of debit notes. This note is necessary because the supplier Seymour Furniture have made a mistake in their calculation and have undercharged their customer CR Mendes. Ada debit note nomor 311. Di sini dijelaskan juga invoice nomor L8992 undercharge. Harusnya yang 6 chair itu harganya £35 per satu buah. Tapi ditotalinya malah 210. Bukan, jadi yang diberikan sama si pembeli ini £150 karena dikiranya harga per kursi itu £25 padahal harusnya £35. Jadi mereka minta tambahan biaya sebesar £60 dan tidak lupa juga they apologize. The text is, we apologize for the error and ask if you would please pay the difference of £60. Jadi Mereka tetap meminta maaf atas ketidaknyamanannya dan meminta penambahan biaya sebesar 60 pound. This is the example of credit notes. Seymour Furniture have made a mistake on another invoice and must now send a credit note. Note that the form for a credit note is the same as that for a debit note, except for the heading. Credit notes, however, are often printed in red. Jadi sebenarnya sama aja sama debit note, tapi biasanya di printnya tuh dalam warna merah gitu. Ini juga sama, contohnya kayak invoice number L8995 overcharge. The invoice should have read 50% off gross price of 800 pound equals 120 pounds, not 10% of gross price of 800 pound equals 80 pound. Refund 40 pound, please accept our apologies. Jadi ada kesalahan, harusnya diskonnya itu 15% dan dari 800 pound itu berarti diskonnya itu sebesar 120 pound, tapi ditulisnya malah 10%. Seperti itu. And this is the example of complaint about accounting error. Mr. Lancelot, a bill the supplier, has received a statement which contains several accounting errors. So in this letter, Mardus Lancelot, as a director, complained about to Mr. Winford about some accounting error. The first one is invoice Y1146 for 256 has been debited twice. No credit has been listed for the wallpaper, which I returned in July. Your credit note number CN118 for 90 pounds refer to this. You have charged for a delivery of paintbrushes. Invoice number Y1162 for 62 pound, but I neither ordered nor received them. Could you check your delivery book? I have deducted a total of 337 pound for your statement and will send you a draft for 2,943.64 pound once I have your confirmation of this amount. Jadi slide ini itu berisi menjelaskan bahwa pelanggan dapat mengajukan komplain jika menemukan kesalahan dalam laporan atau invoice. Komplain ini juga bertujuan untuk meminta perbaikan, bukan untuk menyalahkan, sehingga harus disampaikan dengan bahasa yang sopan dan profesional. Reply to complaint about accounting error. This example shows how to reply to a complaint about accounting errors. The company thanks the customer, apologize, and explain the cause of the mistakes. It then confirms that the issue has been fixed and provides a corrected statement. The response is clear, brief, and focused on solving the problem. Jadi contoh yang ada di sini itu menunjukkan bagaimana cara membalas komplain kalau ada kesalahan dalam akuntansi atau perhitungan gitu. Pertama, company berterima kasih kepada customer, meminta maaf dan menjelaskan terkait penyebab kesalahan yang terjadi. Terus juga dikonfirmasi kalau the issue-nya itu sudah diperbaiki dan disediakan correct statement yang benarnya gitu. The response is clear, brief, and focus on solving the problem. Jadi responnya itu harus jelas dan fokus untuk memecahkan masalah dari si customer kita. So points to remember: 1, minor complaints can be fax or emailed, but use letter when dealing with more serious ones. The second is, before writing a letter of complaint, make sure you have got your facts right. Third one, complaints are not accusation; they are requests to correct mistakes or faults. They should be remembering that the supplier almost certainly wants to put things right. Fourth one, never makes the complaint personal. Use an impersonal tone. The mistake, it must have been because blah blah blah, or the error. Fifth one, when answering a complaint, thank your customer for pointing out the problem. If the complaint is justified, explain how the problem occurred and how you intend to deal with it. 6, if you need more time to investigate the complaint, tell your customer. 7, if the complaint is unjustified, politely explain why, but sympathize about the inconvenience it has caused. Probably that's all from us. Thank you for your time. See you in the next presentation.
Okay, so that concludes our presentation. We sincerely apologize if there were any mistakes in our words or if any information was missing. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment down below in this video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.